now suddenly going to be less hawkish. And I certainly don't think this is the case. I think this is not the case. I don't think the Fed is pivoting, and I think this is short memory and a pretty good example of, what's kind of going wrong in this market, that people are attaching too strongly to one thing here or there. They're looking at cash levels, they're looking at sentiment, and they're saying, oh, it's time to go all in rally mode. In my opinion, this is not the case. The Fed has continued to get more and more hawkish, and there's no reason for them to get more dovish. They're not going to do that. The economy has barely begun to weaken, if at all. It has, but not to any catastrophic effect at all. Inflation has done very little. They've raised rates to this point. They've said they've seen no progress on inflation, just as most recently as this week. They've said that multiple times this week. They are not seeing what they're expecting to see. So they're not seeing economic weakness. They're not seeing inflation come down. Why the heck would they get dovish? If anything, they're going to get more hawkish. And this has been the trend, clearly, getting more hawkish every time. Let's not forget, at the end of last year, they were expecting one 25 basis point hike. At an earlier meeting this year, I believe it was the second meeting, the debate was 50 or 75. 75 was this, low probability notion, would be quite extreme, would signal a very hawkish Fed. We got 75, not at that meeting, but at every single meeting since then, and we're getting another. So the Fed is getting more and more incrementally hawkish. There's this notion that you can't tame inflation with negative real yields. And so far, that's proving to be correct. I get it. Housing prices are coming down. Used car prices are coming down. Core inflation just experienced its highest level this entire inflation spat. So that has yet to prove that it's turning the corner. And the Fed wants several months of consecutive decline in order to truly have a pivot or do more than a pause. I mean, they probably just want to pause only when that's coming down at least 2 months in a row. Because let's not forget, we had one positive CPI. I believe it was the July CPI was positive. And the Fed did 75, and the August was hot and showed a reacceleration. So, they have addressed that and said this is why we need consecutive months, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to have more to see. Don't get all bulled up because you see one headline, because they had Mary Daly speak, and then they had Jim Bullard coming. So that is telegraphed. That is decided. The Fed is going to be hawkish. Don't fight the Fed, in my opinion. The economy is going to continue to weaken because at some point it has to with these rate hikes. The labor market, unemployment's going to go up. Oil prices look like they're going to go up. So oil prices going up, guess what that means? That means inflation. Look at how hard they've tried to stop oil prices from going up, the Biden administration, and they're kind of out of that same ammunition. So we'll see what happens. I see inflation continuing to be more stubborn than everyone has thought, as has been the trend. I continue to expect the Fed to remain hawkish and get more hawkish, as has been the trend, and possibly an additional 10+% downside in the market. So we'll see what happens. That's today's video. Until next time, peace.